The National Republican Trust PAC. This is actually the biggest independent PAC that supports Republicans. They spent $7.5 million in 2008, and they spent $1 million on attack ads in New York's, I believe it was the 20th district, against the person who was going to replace Kirsten Gillibrand, who went out to take Hillary Clinton's seat. And remember, they poured in $1 million there, and then they lost. A district that was, as far as registration goes, is overwhelmingly Republican, and they still lost. And remember, Michael Steele said, "That's the one we're going to win." Of course, as usual, oopsie-doopsie, they didn't win. But they don't have a message for the Democrats. They've decided that they are going to have a message for their fellow Republicans, and it is a warning. They sent a letter to Orrin Hatch, who has been saying, you know what, we are going to fight against activist judges, but there are some judges that Obama is proposing that would be a little tougher to fight, basically saying we're going to go ahead and we might cave in on some of those. That's from a right-wing perspective, they would view it that way. And this PAC is not having it, so they sent him this letter. "It is up to you and your fellow Republican colleagues to stop such a nomination. I believe you will find, Senator Hatch, your constituents will hold you accountable should you concede to the president's nomination of an activist judge." By the way, I read it that way because they capitalized "of an activist judge." Why "of" had to be capitalized, I'm not sure. And again, this is something like commenters on blogs do. When they're angry, they capitalize words, right? These guys, all right. And by the way, understand what they're doing here. This is important. They're saying that we're going to oppose the nominee sight unseen. And we demand that you say that you will filibuster the nominee no matter who it is. We don't give a damn who he nominates because they don't know who the nominee is. Let me continue with the letter now. And the person who wrote this is Scott Wheeler, executive director of the PAC. He says, "As you may recall, the National Republican Trust PAC held former Senator Arlen Specter accountable after he voted in favor of the president's stimulus package. The gentleman from Pennsylvania no longer resides within our political party. The National Republican Trust PAC has donors and supporters across the nation, including your home state." You would think that that would be a bad thing, not a good thing. Like, ha ha! We drove the 60th vote over to the Democrats. You remember that? Yeah, I do remember that, you jackass. That's part of what's wrong with our party. And no, but they're proud. They're like, you see what we did to Arlen Specter? We turned him into a Democrat. We can do that with you too, Orrin Hatch and all the rest of you. You better get in line. You better oppose whoever the nominee is with a filibuster. This is exactly what's wrong with the Republican Party. No facts, no thinking, blanket opposition, and kill their own. J.R. Jackson.
Has it always been this thuggish? This sounds like a movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where you get a letter sent, maybe with, this is your mother's finger. We'll take the rest of her hand if you don't do what we say. It doesn't make any sense. It's hard for me to really believe that this is true. This sounds like a joke.
I know. It's true. This is the best funded independent Republican PAC. Okay? I mean, they spent $7.5 million in 2008. For a PAC, that's significant. I mean, they spent $1 million on one district in New York just, a couple of weeks ago. So, no, they're definitely serious. And next thing you know, they're going to get a head of a horse with Spectre carved in the hide at some point. But you Spectre was a bad thing for your party, not a good thing that he left.